One man sneaks up to the other, and then he seems to be up to something. A woman who was there begins to observe the situation, and then the man shows that he had a knife. The man then takes the wallet out of the other man's pocket and throws it to the ground. He then tells the other man that his wallet was dropped, and the other man thanks him. The other man then thanks the man, says he would give him something to repay him, but the man says it wasn't necessary. The other man then insists that he wanted to reward the man as he had been honest and that honest people were hard to find. He then hands the man the money and thanks him again. The other man then leaves, and the man takes the money to the woman and tells her that she could have it. So we're going to take what earlier that day, another man went up to the woman. She then asks him to give her something, but the other man says he has nothing to give her. She then asks him again to give her something, as she was very hungry and had not eaten anything that day, but another man says that it was not his problem. He then goes on to say that many people were worse off than her and that they still weren't asking other people for money. He said that these people were running after her livelihood, but the woman wanted everything to gain everything from other people. He then turns around and the woman says he didn't need to treat her that way. The man tells the woman that she must have needed that money more than he does. He then leaves and the woman goes after him, saying that they could make a lot of money together, but the man says that he only did that because he wanted to help her. She then insists that they would make a lot of money together, but the man says that she was homeless and they couldn't do that. She then says that they could do what the man had done and that she would help him by distracting people, but the man says that he wouldn't do that kind of thing anymore and that she shouldn't do it either. He then says he didn't want to do that anymore, and the woman insists, saying they could make a lot of money. The man then tells her that he wouldn't do that anymore and says that she could use that money to buy herself something to eat. He then tells her that she really needed help and she said that was why she was proposing. She then goes on to tell the man to rethink it, but the man says he doesn't want to do it anymore and then leaves. The woman goes after the man and starts walking behind him. She then follows the man to his house. Then the man asks what she was doing, and she then says that she was following the man as she knew they could make a lot of money together. The man then tells her that she should leave as he didn't want other people to see them together. She then says that they could make a great team. The man then asks the woman what to make her think they could get a lot of money since she was dressed that way. She then says that she already told the man and says that she knew a lot of places and that she could distract people and that the man would take their money. He then tells her to go away, as he didn't want to do that anymore, and then says that he had already given the woman the money and that she should use that money to take care of her. He says that she was very dirty and that no one would want to help her and that was why she was still in that situation. He says that if she didn't change, she would never be able to improve her life. He then tells her that she would have to change her way of thinking and that way, she could be a better person. She then says that they should work together to get money, and then the man says that she should use that creativity of hers to try and improve her life. She then says that the man was not understanding the situation, and then he says that he has been in her situation and that he managed to get out thanks to her work. The woman then says that she is sorry for bothering the man and then leaves. The man then says that he would regret it, but asks her to come back. He says that he would help her and that she should understand that as long as she is at his house, she has to follow her rules. She then says they would make a great team, and the man says she should stop thinking about money so much, and he says she would need to take a shower and follow the rules he was going to tell her. She then thanks the man and they enter his house. He then says that he hoped he didn't regret it. When they enter the man's house, she says that his house was very nice and he appreciates the compliment. She then says that they would make a great team. The man says that he has already told her to stop thinking about money so much. He tells her that she was going to have to follow the rules he was going to tell her. He then tells her that she was going to have to stop thinking about those things, and then says that he would show her around the house. He says that that was her living room, but that first she would have to go take a shower. She then agrees to that and the man tells her to go soon. She then says she was on her way and then leaves. Later, the woman places a cake on the table and then the man arrives. He is surprised by that and she says that she had prepared something for him to eat, because that way he would get stronger. She then says that cake was very tasty. He is then surprised to find that the woman had cooked for him and so he asks if she had washed her hands before cooking. She then says yes and tells him to help himself. He then asks where the silverware was and then the woman hands him a spoon. She then sits down next to the man and says that she hoped he liked her cake as she was very fond of chocolate. The man finds that spoon very strange and then asks the woman what had happened to her being in that situation. She then says that the man should eat before she tells his story, but he says he wanted to hear the story first. She then says that the man could eat while she goes to tell her story. The man then asks her to just tell her story, and then she says that she wasn't always like that. She says that her father was very rich and that, because of that, she had many houses and many apartments. The man then says that he couldn't believe the woman, but she says it was true and that she had traveled many countries. He then asks the woman what had happened to make her stay that way, and then she says that she had fallen in love with someone her father did not want her to fall in love with. She then says that her father took everything she had, but that she didn't like to talk about it, because it made her very sad. The man then says that she should cheer up, because that way she would be able to get out of that life just as he had already gotten out of the same situation she was in. The man then says that if she wanted to, he could help her, and then she said that she knew of a way for them to get a lot of money. The man then tells her to stop thinking about it and that she would have to follow his rules. She is not very happy about that and then says that she knew a very good way for them to make money. She then says that he could listen to her, but the man says that he didn't want to know about that matter. He then asks the woman to go take a shower and then says he would go to her work. He tells her that she shouldn't do anything while he's gone. When the man leaves, the woman says that she would go after the money, as she knew where she was and that nothing would happen. Later, the man returns to his house and finds the woman thanking him as she had found money. She then thanks God and says that she really needed that money. The man then goes out of his house and says that woman was a thief and that he would not go to prison because of her. Later, he enters his house and then the woman says that there was all the money she said. The man then says that she should stop that and tell him who she had stolen that money from, but she said that she had already told a man that she had a lot of money and that was her money. The man then tells her that she should stop lying and tell the truth, as she has no money. She then insists that that was her money. The man then tells her to stop lying and tell him where she got that money from, but she tells the man that that was the money she had mentioned to him. He then says that he had already called the police as he was not going to be arrested on account of the woman, but she says that the police were not necessary as she had already called her lawyer and that he would sort everything out. The man then says that she was homeless and she couldn't afford a lawyer, but at that moment, the lawyer arrives. She then says that that was her lawyer and the man says that he was the man they met earlier. The lawyer then says that he was sorry for the way he had treated the woman, but says that he failed to recognize her. He then says that he realized that she had already taken her share of the inheritance. She then says yes, and that she had received the first part of her inheritance. The lawyer then says that she would receive more money, as her father was very rich and had many companies in her name. The woman then says that she didn't want that money and that her lawyer could donate all that money to charity. The man then asks what she was doing and she says that like the man had said she was homeless and didn't deserve that money. The man then tells her that he had no way of knowing that her story was true and that it was a gift from God. He says this was the woman's opportunity to change her life, and so she thanks him for his advice. She then asks her lawyer where she needs to sign. The lawyer then congratulates the woman on her decision and asks her to accompany him. The man then says he is very surprised, because the woman was really telling the truth. The woman then signs the necessary documents, and then she hugs the man.